The Unstoppable Scientist, The Life of Marie Curie. Our story begins in Warsaw, Poland, in 1867, where a bright girl named Maria Skłodowska was born. Her family loved knowledge, but life was difficult. Poland was controlled by Russia, and speaking Polish or learning Polish history was forbidden in schools. Despite the restrictions, young Maria absorbed everything she could from her father, a physics and math teacher, nurturing her great curiosity. Maria was determined to learn, despite the obstacles. After finishing school, she attended the Flying University, a secret, illegal Polish institution that taught in Polish. Maria dreamed of attending university in Paris, but her family could not afford it. To save enough money for her older sister, Bronislawa, to study first, Maria worked for several years as a governess in the countryside, always reading books late into the night. Finally, in 1891, Maria arrived in Paris and enrolled at the Sorbonne, the famous French university. She changed her name to Marie. Life was incredibly poor. She rented a small attic room and often studied for hours in freezing lecture halls, surviving on little more than bread and tea, driven by her single-minded hunger for science. Marie's brilliance quickly became clear to her professors. Soon after earning her physics degree, she needed a proper laboratory space for her research on the magnetic properties of steel. A friend introduced her to Pierre Curie, a brilliant and kind physicist who managed a lab school. They shared a deep, immediate passion, not for superficial romance, but for the complex world of scientific inquiry. Marie and Pierre married in 1895 and soon began their shared scientific partnership. Marie decided to investigate the mysterious rays recently discovered by scientist Henri Becquerel, which were emitted by the element uranium. She wanted to know exactly how these powerful, invisible rays worked. Marie discovered that the intensity of the rays depended only on the amount of uranium present in the sample, not on the temperature or combination of materials. This meant the radiation was an atomic property, coming directly from the atoms themselves. She coined a new famous word for this powerful effect, radioactivity. Through further testing, they realized that pitchblende, an ore of uranium, was much more radioactive than pure uranium. They deduced that a new unknown element must be hiding inside. For 4 exhausting years, they worked tirelessly in a leaky, unheated shed, grinding tons of ore, searching for the invisible source of the extreme radiation. In 1898, after incredible effort, they successfully isolated 2 new elements. Marie named the first polonium, after her native Poland. The second, incredibly intense element, they named radium. Their discovery transformed physics, and in 1903, Marie and Pierre, along with Becquerel, were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. Marie was the first woman ever to receive a Nobel Prize. Tragedy struck in 1906 when Pierre died suddenly in a street accident. Marie, heartbroken but resilient, took over his professorship at the Sorbonne, becoming the first woman professor there. She continued her rigorous work, focusing on isolating the pure elements, and in 1911, she won a second Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for isolating pure radium metal. When World War I erupted in 1914, Marie knew her research could save lives. She developed mobile X-ray units, nicknamed the Petites Curies, Little Curies, and trained herself and her daughter to operate them. Marie drove these units directly to the front lines, helping surgeons quickly locate shrapnel and diagnose injuries in wounded soldiers. After the war, Marie used her international fame to raise funds for scientific research. She traveled to America twice, where she was celebrated and gifted 1 gram of precious radium for her work. She established the Curie Institutes in Paris and Warsaw, dedicated to medical research using radioactive elements to treat diseases like cancer. Marie Curie's tireless dedication to science cost her greatly. She died in 1934 from illnesses likely caused by her lifelong exposure to the powerful radiation she studied. Yet, her legacy is immense. She was not only the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, but the only person ever to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences. Her relentless curiosity and courage changed the world forever.